Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today we have some huge news to talk about. I am sick still. That's not the huge news. Hopefully, I'll be better soon, but we have a bunch of new cards revealed and the new set from Pokemon TCG Pocket, as well as some more info on trading and some, I guess, more info on tools. We'll talk about it, but I'm looking here at PokeBeach. This info is all from, I believe, the trailer, which you can see somewhere. It just has this info. The reason we're looking at this and not the trailer is because the stuff is, the images are better. We're not just looking at like moving images or like images that are like weirdly cropped and things like that. But regardless, it says here the set will include over 140 cards, which is smaller. It's over two booster packs as well, which is also less. The pack, Generic Apex had 286 cards here, looking at Limitless. I think this includes cards that have multiple copies. Wait, no, I don't think it does. Oh yeah, sorry, it does. So we'll see exactly if the number 140 includes that or not, but still, this is less either way. And so I don't exactly know why this is the case. Potentially, I guess the first set should have more than normal because you actually want a metagame within the first set. You don't just want some random cards from the first set. So now we'll get cards more to support the other cards, which we'll take a look at here. And it's focused on the Sinnoh region, though. Honestly, I don't know a Pokemon from what region. I know some, I know a bunch, but I don't know if these are all Sinnoh or if just most of them are. But regardless, we have we're getting, I don't know, we're probably getting 5 EXs. That's what no, we're probably getting 10 EXs, maybe. It's been 5 from each pack. So right now, I believe we have 21 EXs. We have Lapras EX, which is a promo, and each of the packs had 5. So Mythical Island had 5, and then there were 15 in Genetic Apex. So that would mean we're getting 10, which kind of makes sense. We've seen Dialga EX, Palkia EX. Here it says we're getting Lucario EX, apparently. Oh, this does not interact with that. And then Cynthia, Pachirisu EX, and then some other cards as well. It will introduce tools to the game. I don't know if this is actually confirmed, but it's more or less confirmed, as we'll see with Pachirisu EX. And we don't know all the stats on all these cards, but we know a lot of them, and on the ones that we've seen, and then some we know all the stats on. So, and there's also info on trading, which we'll get to later on. I've talked about it. It doesn't seem like there's anything that is particularly new with that, but it is, confirming things we do know. The Dialga EX, that was the first card we're looking at, 150 HP. It's metal. So if you don't know metal, well, you might actually like not even know that metal's in pocket. Metal's really bad. It has the second fewest unique cards behind Dragon, but the Dragon cards are okay. All of them are fine, I guess. They're not amazing, but they're pretty. They're decent cards. Definitely, the metal ones are not really decent cards. Melmetal's okay. And then the other one's Bisharp's like super generic, and Mawile is also pretty generic and not super good. I think it's all right, but regardless, Dialga EX here for 2 metal. You do 30, and you take 2 metal from your energy zone and attach it to one of your benched Pokemon. I saw someone say that it allows you to accelerate to any type of Pokemon. This is really huge. This is the first card that does this. I was gonna make a video at some point, and I certainly have said this in videos, saying that and kind of complaining that Pocket's energy acceleration is only to certain types of Pokemon or sometimes certain specific Pokemon. So this is the first completely like it can accelerate to any Pokemon. Obviously, if you're accelerating to like you wouldn't accelerate to Pikachu EX, ignoring the fact that obviously this isn't a lightning Pokemon. It doesn't have colorless energy or metal energy in its attack costs. So the Pikachu EX, so you wouldn't want to do that. But something like Mew EX, this could be useful for. It actually seems pretty solid, and that because Mew EX is 3 colorless, it's expensive. And then 30 is like not that much, obviously, but doing a little bit of damage like a poke style attack with energy acceleration. This is actually pretty similar to Lilligant, except Lilligant is a stage 1 Pokemon, and the Pokemon it's setting up, I mean, there is Celebi EX, which is the basic. The main one it was setting up was Venusaur EX when the set came out, I think. I know that was one. I don't know if people played it with other things. The other main grass Pokemon was Executor EX, which is only 1 energy, but this is going to be potentially 2 basics paired with one another, which is really smooth to power up. And then Heavy Impact, which is 100 for Metal, Metal, Colorless, Colorless. That seems um, that seems fine, I guess. I'm trying to think through the math. Um, it's like all right. Obviously, you have stuff like Pikachu EX, which I mentioned, which does I'll say it just does 90 for 2. It's not exactly that, but it's kind of like that. And then you have like Starmie EX, which is 90 for 2 on a stage 1. You have Articuno EX, which is 80 for 3 on a basic. And also it does spread damage, and Mewtwo EX is 150 for 4, but you do discard the energy, so it's okay. You could you can't accelerate to a self, but you could accelerate to another Dialga EX and get them really powered up pretty quickly. So you could do that if you wanted to. And so then it's like not necessarily you don't view it as you could view it almost as like a 3 energy attack because you're kind of doing other stuff in the meantime. And in terms of like um, tempo in the game, you're kind of in that position, if that makes sense. Regardless, the 4 energy 200, it's like whatever. But with the first attack's I think the reason you play this, but the second attack is there is nice support. It could be a really important part of the deck. The metal Pokemon that are in the game right now, there's only a few. So I'll just pull up the metal. Um, which has it's a 4 energy attacker that does 120, and then it takes 20 less damage for attacks and has 130 HP. Pretty solid card here. If you can get it powered up. It's kind of hard to get powered up. You do have the Meltan, which can accelerate to itself. However, the Meltan also it has 60. I actually thought it had 50, but still, that's not that much. So it's probably going to get knocked out. Certainly after attacking twice, you're almost certainly getting knocked out. If you're getting attacked once, you still might. But certainly not a tanky Pokemon until it evolves. And you can evolve and accelerate with Dialga EX, and I think that's going to be pretty solid. Don't necessarily know. You could do it with, like, as I said, Mew EX. That's a technical card in a lot of decks. Celebi EX. Oh, I didn't. Celebi EX is a card that also does damage based on energies, not just grass energies. However, um, this is going to be pretty awkward because you need grass energy to actually attack, and then you need metal energy to attack with Dialga EX, 2 metal energy. So I think that's probably going to be bad. There are other things kind of like that as well. You got like Mewtwo EX. There are tons of Pokemon that could always do with more energies that are of certain types. Could pair with like Pidgeot EX or Tauros, things like that. There are these generic attackable Pokemon, specifically Tauros, and then like Mew EX. But yeah, Dialga EX looks really good for Metal. I mean, obviously Metal's bad, but yeah, hopefully this will revitalize it, and I expect to see another important metal Pokemon in this set that is going to be pretty strong, to be honest. Might be an evolution. I don't know exactly what I should be looking out for. I'm not super familiar, as I said, with the generations, but yeah, I'd be expecting something else here. At least one card. Honestly, I expect our metal Pokemon in the game to like triple, but we'll see. Then we got Palkia EX, of course, here. 30 for 1 water and 4 water. You do 150. You discard 3 waters from this Pokemon. There's 20 to each your opponent's benched Pokemon. 150 for 4 is good. Like the damage output's good here, but obviously discarding 3 water is like quite bad. You do have Misty, and that's like kind of good, but Misty is inconsistent. It's only okay. I mean, it's a good card, but it's not going to get you like 5 energies. I mean, it could, but it's unlikely. So Palkia EX seems a little sketchy here. Does not seem bad, but I don't know. Actually, it doesn't seem great. It's like maybe a finisher pairing it with a Vaporeon, kind of like better Articuno EX. I mean, it does like twice as much damage. So it's an interesting card here to consider. I think it's okay. I don't think it's great. Not going to be the backbone of water, I don't think, unless we see some other water support, which I don't think water. I mean, water's good. It's not the best type. Well, I don't know. It has a pretty wide base of attackers. I think it has the most EXs in 4, which is a lot, not counting Palkia EX. Then we have some other cards. We got Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup. Nothing here to say about them, but they are in the game. Obviously, we're gonna presumably get evolution stage 2s for those. Then we got Lucario here with, which by the way, I really like this art. But then you have Fighting Coach, which says attacks used by your fighting Pokemon do 20 more damage to your opponent's active, and you can do 40 for 2 fighting, though it could be boosted up to 60. Or no, it will be boosted up to 60 guaranteed. And then also, I believe this stacks. So if you have 2 Lucarios, you're going to be doing 40 more. And then obviously compare this with like Giovanni. And then fighting is an interesting type. I've talked about it really since the type's been announced. Or not like announced, but like we've seen the first cards. It's a type with some solid Pokemon. All of them are stage 1s. Marshallow's a basic. Hitmonlee is like really good for fighting, and this doesn't help Hitmonlee at all. But it could help something like Hitmonchan be pretty solid, I think. And also something like Honestly, I'm not super familiar. Like maybe the Primeape, the one energy Primeape, or the two energy Primeape, or Aerodactyl EX, or probably not Marowak EX. I mean, it's okay there, but Lucario seems pretty good. Not necessarily the backbone of fighting, but it's good. It definitely seems good. It seems interesting, and a really cool card to have in the game. Keep in mind, this presumably will not help out the Garchomp, which we're seeing, or maybe it's a Garchomp EX. I don't know. Actually, no, it's probably just a regular Garchomp, but that's dragon type, presumably, because we see this dragon type Gibble. Let's talk about these cards here. We don't see all the stats on like Cresselia here. It's got 110 HP on a basic though, which is good, which is quite good. I mean, we've seen basics with higher, and then just 50 for 2 psychic and heal 20 from this Pokemon. That's that's like decent, I guess. It's not anything super groundbreaking. It's pretty tanky, I guess. Um, so if your opponent's not set up, they'll probably have a difficult time dealing with this, but that's true for a lot of Pokemon. Ultimately, obviously, Psychic's the best Psychic attack in the game right now is Mewtwo EX with Gardevoir, and there's lots of different attacking options. You obviously have Mewtwo EX, which is the focal point of the deck, and Mew EX is pretty good. And there's Jinx, there is the Baby Mewtwo, there is I mean there's a Mr. Mime, which isn't very good, but I think it's kind of fun. And then there's people don't play that. There's some colorless attackers, but those are they're different. Obviously, they're not psychic, so you can't accelerate. Cresselia seems like kind of mediocre. It has compared to those, it has like high HP. I don't actually know what the regular Mewtwo's HP is. I think it's 120, so it's a little lower than that, but it's not that much lower, and it heals, so that's probably like tankier, but it's not like absurdly tanky. Certainly Mewtwo EX and Mew EX as well as tank, they're both tankier. This card seems like whatever. It's yeah. I should probably just stop talking about it because it's fine. Then there is Cynthia. I mentioned Gibble, but we haven't seen Garchomp. We also haven't seen Togekiss because Cynthia says during this turn, attacks used by your Garchomp or Togekiss do 50 more to your presumably opponent's active Pokemon, is what it says there. This is kind of like Blaine, but it's I guess stronger. I don't know. Presumably, oh no, I mean certainly Garchomp and Togekiss will be stage twos. Also, this looks like it won't work. Well, if we're getting a Garchomp EX, I don't believe it would work with that. So probably we're not getting a Garchomp EX in this set, or a Togekiss EX. But Garchomp, we'll see how good it is. Yeah, I can't really say too much about Cynthia, but this is a lot of extra damage, right? It's just a ton, so we'll see what Garchomp looks like. I don't expect it to be a super strong attacker, just Garchomp generally has, it'll probably have free retreat, which will be nice. Togekiss might too, and Garchomp will probably do mediocre damage, and then Cynthia will boost up to pretty good damage. Probably not too insane like one-shot EX damage though. I don't think. Maybe, but it'll probably be a bit expensive. Maybe like 3 energies. 80 could be where I could see it, and then the first attack might be like 2 energies, like 30 and something. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here. These numbers could be completely off. I don't know. I don't expect it to be super strong, especially with Cynthia. And then Togekiss. I don't really know what to expect from Togekiss. Togekiss generally has I think support cards with like unique abilities and some weird things going on there. So I don't actually expect that to be particularly good with Cynthia, but this is obviously just guesswork because I don't know the cards yet. Then we have Pachirisu EX. This is kind of a big deal. I don't know. It depends how you view it, but it's a basic EX is lightning. Its attack says for 2 lightning, it does 40, and if this Pokemon is a Pokemon tool attached, presumably it says the stack does. Oh yeah, that's definitely what it says. The stack does 40 more damage, so it's actually pretty good, I guess. So we haven't seen any Pokemon tools, and I actually don't know at all what the Pokemon tools are that we're going to see. Um, in the standard format, Pokemon tools, or like just in the regular TCG, good Pokemon tools, or just general Pokemon tools do a few things. Sometimes they boost damage. And Pokemon tools, if you don't know, they stay on. They're kind of like items. You can play as many as you want, but they stay on to the Pokemon, and then they do something. They generally add in some extra like HP, like it just boosts stats. So extra HP, extra damage, extra or lower retreat cost, some like draw cards, some heal, that's like a thing, or like remove special conditions. They do lots of different things, but the main things are going to be reduced retreat cost, increased HP, or increased damage. However, obviously there are some cards. So the cards in the regular TCG and the Pokemon TCG Pocket are different. So Switch is a card in the regular TCG, and then X Speed is weaker than Switch. X Speed is kind of like a tool, except it's just one turn. So ultimately, I don't think we're going to see a retreat cost reducing tool. I mean, we could. It would kind of make sense, but it would also make X speed way worse. Just because, yes, theoretically X speed and Leaf like stack, and you can get these big retreats, but also like, come on, right? That's not something. That's not the main use case of it. And then the Oh, and by the way, I opened up my phone separately and I looked. So if you don't know, tools are searchable in the Pocket like database thing, like within the game, in the app. And I thought something was a subtype of tool and it was fossils. So tools or subtype of item. Tools used to be a subtype of item, but now they're not. They're not that similar. Regardless, though, so you can just play um, you attach a tool and then you could do 80 as well. But I could see potentially a damage boosting tool, but that'd probably be by 10 to the active. That's like the lowest they could go. And then at that point, that's just like Giovanni, except that's obviously, stays on forever. And also you can play like as many as you want on your turn. I don't expect a tool rule change. So that's going to be like super broken if they do that. So I have no idea what tools we're going to see in terms of that. HP buff, same thing. You're kind of comparing HP buff cards to what's the card to like blue. To be honest, blue's not that good, but those are kind of completely outclassed blue. And Pokemon doesn't want to. I mean, in terms of power level, I just don't know what they're going for here. They could also be cards with some downside. I could see that happening in order to counterbalance them because that just to make sure that they're fair. But we'll see what they do. Overall, the Pachirisu EX, if you don't know its HP, it'll probably be on the lower end. However, is a card that does do pretty solid damage. 80 for 2 is pretty good. Um, it's not quite Pikachu EX levels of good, but I think this card's going to be pretty good. Then we see a few more cards here. We just got this Leafeon, which does so this is the fourth evolution we're seeing. What Leafeon was like Glaceon or something, I think. So we'll probably see that as well, which is also water. But then says it does 90 and then can't attack next turn for 2, which is like pretty solid. Nothing insane. Grass is like kind of whatever. I mean, grass is like a decent type, I guess, but this doesn't seem like it has great synergy with grass stuff or terrible. It seems just like a fine card. And then you have Honchkrow here, which does 100, and Honchkrow, or it has 100 and does 50 to 1 of your opponent's Pokemon, I think is what it says. And I wasn't sure the attack cost, but I think this is like exactly the same as Lumineon. It's just 50. Oh, this is 50 to 1 of your opponent's benched Pokemon. I think it's probably just 2. We'll see. It could be for 3. Um, Lumineon. Oh, Lumineon's free retreat. I haven't like really seen people play Lumineon, so I didn't realize that. Yeah, so it's probably 250 snipe. Darkness is like a mediocre type, certainly weaker than water right now. Doesn't have like energy acceleration support, or just doesn't have any EXs, I don't think either. So yeah, Honchkrow seems like whatever. It seems fine. Then we have trading. This is the last thing to talk about here. So this new set is coming out January 29th, which is in a little under a week. But then trading is coming out the 28th. I don't know why this is the case. Like, I don't know why it's one day off. To me, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why they're doing that. But anyway, so trading, we talked about it earlier, but in a previous video, but it's like with friends, and it's cards the same rarity, 1 diamond all the way through 1 star, which is that's pretty much every card. Well, I don't know. To me, it's every card, other than like the alternate arts or whatever of the EXs and the supporters, as well as like the max rarity cards. But it is most cards. Every card, I believe, has a card of that rarity, except for promos. You might not be able to trade these, but generally they're not hard to get. I mean, Moltres EX is like you to buy. I don't remember how you get these to either, to be honest. But regardless, you are able to get most of them like pretty easily. But then this allows you to get other cards easier. It says upon release of the new feature. And the trading feature, players will be able to trade certain cards from Genetic Apex and Mythical Island. This is the thing I'm not sure about is are there certain cards just the cards of this rarity, or are they cards of like, is it just saying that the certain cards are these rarities and you can't trade like the golden Pikachu EX, or is it saying it's only some of the cards of this rarity and you might not be able to trade your Mewtwo EX at all? I don't know. Pokemon is kind of like stepping into it slowly, but I think they're doing it well. Um, yeah, if you played Pokemon TCG Online, you know trading there was really bad. It was a very important part of the economy. But when we take a look at these graphics, not this graphic, nothing much to see there. I mean, it looks cool, I guess, or this graphic either. But you have a trade partner, you have a player, and you have you. Looks like, yeah, this is someone's trade offer. So there's a 2-day trade offer. There's trade info. I actually don't know what that means at all. I mean, like there's obviously the card that you're trading, but yeah. So then you can also mark cards for want. In Pokemon, it's kind of weird, but you can do it right now. And then you trade with friends, and then you have these different currencies. Pokemon TCG Pocket opening up a bunch of currencies is like kind of weird. I know it's like a mobile game thing. I think it's a bit intimidating for newer players, so I just don't know exactly why they're doing that. But regardless, they've done it. It's not actually that complicated though. We got the this currency that you get some of. I think it might be like every day or like two every day or whatever. And then you can edit the card. I don't. Oh, maybe that's for what you want to trade. Yeah. So then you say you just spend that currency. I was gonna say it would be more expensive for cards of higher rarity. However, this is a card of 3 diamond rarity. Yes, there are cards of 4 diamond rarity and a star rarity, 1 star rarity, which you can trade, but there are obviously cards with lower rarity as well, and presumably they're still using this currency. So I don't know if this currency, which you can see like the 5 which are like these square-like things, if that's something that you spend more for more expensive cards. Then we do see this other thing. I honestly don't remember the cost of cards for pack points. So if this is the same amount as pack points, that could be a thing. But regardless, you got this to trade for certain specific cards that you want. And that might be the thing that would cost more for more expensive, for more like high rarity cards. That would make a lot of sense. I don't know who spends it, if both people spend currency, or if just one does. I don't know, obviously, too many details on trading because it's not out yet. And Pokemon's just going to kind of probably edit it some as they go along as well to feel it out. But okay, so we did get some more news on trading. We got some news on tools, and then we also got a bunch of cards in the news set as well. Some info on that. I will have more info later, but I hope you enjoyed. Consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell, all that good stuff. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.